And now it all starts to make sense. All the puzzle pieces are coming together. Those leftists, the progressives out on the West Coast that control social media, they have something in common with the old guard, those who control the legacy media on the East Coast. They are both equally as terrified of Ron and especially Casey DeSantis. There's been something strange going on my channel for the last year, and I haven't mentioned it because I thought it was just me, but after this morning, I am absolutely positive this is the case. They don't like Ron DeSantis, and they have no problem going after him. But if Casey DeSantis were to become First Lady, meaning Ron would run for president, they couldn't touch her. And on top of that, many people don't know this, she was a TV personality in Jacksonville for many years. She knows how that game works. They couldn't say a thing to her or about her. And that is what they are afraid of. Earlier today, I dropped a video. First Lady Casey DeSantis speaks alongside Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody, plus huge channel news. This is the single most shadow banned video I have ever put up. I thought I had done something wrong when I uploaded it because the initial numbers were so low. Even now, almost, 7-8 hours later, it doesn't even have 1,000 views, which is insane for a channel with 131,000 subscribers. We seriously struck a nerve. They are terrified of Casey DeSantis. They don't have an answer for her. I also talked about the governor's book, and I have a signed copy from the governor himself from 13 October 2011. The book was released in September of that year, and I announced over at the Patreon channel that we're going to be putting everybody's name into a hat and drawing one lucky winner. Now, for those of you who don't know, a brand new unsigned copy of this book, if you can find one, is about $600 right now. But signed copies are going for about $2,500. That's how popular the book is. And I'm very blessed to have one. So I thought I would share this with my audience. If you sign up over at Patreon, $1, everybody just gets one entry. So nobody can buy, 100 entries. Everybody's just get one name put in the hat. And on the 4th of July, we're going to draw a name and we're going to give away the book. Second and third prizes, we're going to draw Florida Maquis coffee mugs. One side says Masters of the Mind. The other side says Destroying the Illusion. It has the channel logo and the word Maquis in the middle. So just wanted to share this with you guys. We covered that in the video earlier today, but probably nobody has actually seen it because it's been so shadow banned. And funny story about that, I have covered the Patriot Nurse extensively. I have, of course, subscribed, and I have all the notifications on, and it doesn't matter what happens. I do not find out about her videos until 5 or 6 hours after they're dropped. I literally go check every day, but I can't be checking every single minute. And it's insane. So they do the same thing to her. But in her most recent video today, she talks about how to prepare for World War III. She talks about inflation, war, food shortages, how the three major crises that most people have in common when it comes to starvation or disease or war have in common the three solutions, which are, of course, the beans, bolts, and Band-Aids. One of the things that I think people are underestimating is you can have all those things taken care of, and there's still going to be something a lot of people aren't going to prepare for. And I'm sure a lot of my military peeps will be able to help me out here with this. It's kind of a touchy subject. What happens if you fail your Army weapons qualification? Now, I'm sure there's quite a few folks out there who probably knew somebody way back in basic that didn't make it through on their first record fire. Now, it's kind of an ego thing. It's an ego bruise. But 99% of the time, the reason that a soldier doesn't make it through first time around on this has to do with either nerves, stress, or the main topic I wanted to talk about today, sleep deprivation. Let me give you the quick background, those of you who are not familiar. Individual weapons qualification is one of the many areas a wannabe soldier must pass in order to join the ranks of the U.S. Army. But what happens if you simply can't reach your target? Trainees receive 92 hours of basic rifle marksmanship instruction over a three-week period before having multiple attempts to qualify. Now, you don't even begin basic rifle marksmanship until week 2, I believe, the end of week 2 of basic training. So the first couple of weeks in basic training has nothing to do with rifle marksmanship. I believe it's the beginning of, now this is me dating myself, it was week 3 that they begin. And so that's what they're talking about with those 92 hours. To qualify, at minimum, recruits must shoot 23 out of 43 targets to qualify in the M4, M16. If you get 23 to 29, you get marksman, 30 to 35, get sharpshooter, and 36 to 40, get expert. Now, if you don't make it on the first run through on your record fire, they usually give you a second run through that day. And I believe they do that, and I believe they'll take you out even the next day. But even after that, all they do is recycle you into another basic training unit that's just a couple weeks behind you. But they don't flunk you out just right then and there and say, well, you can't do it. In fact, the numbers they give here are staggeringly low. According to data provided by Ready, during fiscal year 2019, in the entire Army, only 16 soldiers were separated for basic rifle marksmanship failure. In 2020, the number dropped to 4. Now, I knew in my unit, there were at least a dozen that got recycled to the basic training unit that was behind us, time-wise. And I don't know what happened then, but that seems really, really low. They basically ELS you. You don't get any kind of a dishonorable discharge or anything like that. It's as if you were never in the military. But point being, this is the real key. In a stressful situation, in a shit it's the fan situation, in a grid down situation, all that kind of stuff. Sleep deprivation. Sleep deprivation will be a big, big deal. And not preparing for it, or not thinking it's going to affect you, is going to be a huge mistake. Because if you want to make somebody absolutely, completely useless with a weapon, 36 hours without sleep. 36 hours without sleep. 48 hours without sleep. Everything is blurry. Everything. And if it's one of those shit, it's the fan situations where there's nothing in the grocery stores, your access to caffeine is going to likely be limited. And caffeine is really not that great of a fix. Stroke risk quadruples, obesity risk jumps. I think this has a lot more to do with American obesity than the foods. It's lack of sleep. Risk of some cancers may increase, diabetes risk goes up, heart disease risk goes up. Just after one night, you become hungrier, you're more likely to have an accident, you're more likely to catch something, you've already begun burning off brain tissue, and they've pretty much established you do long-term, permanent damage that can't be fixed. And honestly, reading through some of these numbers in this article from MIC.com, they call it an epidemic. They call it an epidemic. According to the CDC, insufficient sleep is an epidemic, with a survey conducted by the agency finding 35.3% of people get less than 7 hours of sleep on average. Anyone who's ever been in the military knows that 7 hours you do not get ever. Maybe on a weekend. One day if you're lucky. 7 hours is a lot. 6 hours. If you got 6 hours of sleep every night in the military, you'd be one happy camper. But it's rarely that. So I'll give you the link to this. The damage that it does is long term and real. So make no mistake, though. Make no mistake, we struck a nerve. We struck a very serious nerve, and they are terrified. And it's not because so much that they disagree with Governor DeSantis or his policies. It's that she is eloquent, and she can speak about it in a way that is disarming and informative, and they can't do anything to her. They can't demonize her like they did the last Republican president, First Lady, Melania. Because Melania had a history. I'm sure Melania's a wonderful woman now, but she had some things in her history, you have to admit, that were pretty easy to, kind of tee up and knock out of the park. You see, Casey DeSantis doesn't have any of that. She's a mother, 3 beautiful kids, a Christian, and she also knows the game. And he knows the game, but as we know, it's perfectly okay to go after white, Christian, Protestant, cisgendered males. You can call them any name you want. There's absolutely no protections whatsoever, like there are for others, but we'll leave that there. So, anyway, $1 US. Get your name in a hat for the book written by the governor or the coffee mugs. Would love to have you over there. And plus, that gives you access to all the content, too. So, happy Easter. God bless. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.